Hello, welcome to Calls with your Kinky Bestie. I'm Emma. I am a submissive and mentor for fellow kinksters. This podcast is all about insights into kinky life and dating, sharing my personal experience and stories, and help share mindset shifts too to get you into a confident space, more confident than you are now. So get ready. It all starts now.
Hi besties! Welcome back. I have a very fun topic for you today. We're talking about what's going on with your kinky goals, like when you have a desire, one that probably starts like privately in the back of your brain, lives there, and you're kind of dodging it for a while, and a lot of people live in that place for a long time. You're probably there with some of your goals too. Or just some of your, whatever your kinky taboo desires are. So why this is so important, where these desires come from, and why that desire is important, but what's even more important is following them and doing the thing, and just the ripple effect this has on the rest of our lovely planet and your kinky community, and why this is such a big fucking deal to begin with. So I'm going to start by sharing like an example of a desire that I've had. So obviously I have this kink mentorship business. I started this completely on my own. At the time, I didn't really have any clear examples or people looking up to doing the same thing. And honestly, at first it felt a little silly, like I had this want to do this thing, but I felt a lot of confusion and resistance toward it. Like it almost seemed silly, especially whenever I was looking around and everywhere whenever you start a business, any piece of business, any step-by-step guide to getting there will tell you that first you need to start with market research and finding someone who will buy your thing before you even get to the creating it part. And that absolutely was not the way things worked for me, because part of what I felt called to do and do now is serving people who are quiet in their goals and kind of living with them in the back of their head. So maybe they don't even know that this is a thing that they want to do or know that it's important, much less, know to seek out some sort of service or help with it. It felt a little silly because I didn't know exactly who this would be for. It just felt like it was for me. And the thing is that it would have been very easy to never start and never do this thing, or to start it, 5 years later, or again, for it to just never happen at all. And there's probably some desire that you have on your heart and on your mind right now that probably feels really silly and feels like something that you don't really need to do. Like maybe you have a desire, some sort of desire towards submission. You really want to experience having a dominant partner, but you're used to living a vanilla life, and that's the community that you're around. So when you're in that kind of bubble or around that kind of community, it's so easy to just never do it, because doing it means going against the grain and, seeking out something. And it kind of feels like maybe you're even rejecting the people in your life who live a different way than you desire to. But there's so many different layers to why it's important to do it. And the very first one I want to dig into is where those desires come from. And what I believe, and this might be different than what you believe, or maybe we are saying slightly different things, but mean and believe the same thing. I believe that these desires are really, I believe this is divine guidance from the universe to you, And that's why this appeared on your heart. Like this was given to you as a unique individual on this planet. And it wasn't given to your mom or your friend or your cousin or your whatever. Like it was given to you. So this is something that you uniquely, whatever your circumstance is or has been put together for you to have this desire and for you to fulfill it. The universe is telling you this is a thing you want for a reason. It's trying to nudge you to take an action towards it. And every time you are rejecting that or telling the universe no, I think that you're, it's kind of a cop-out from doing your part. And there's different layers to why the doing your part piece is important. And by doing your part, I mean taking steps towards that desire and becoming someone who receives it and does the steps. And I'm going to talk about some of the different layers into how this has not only like helped me in my life, but also has helped, I think the collective and the kink community at large and just all the people around me. So let's take a little break and come back to it.
Just a little break to share that if you are loving this podcast and my content, if I'm someone you could see yourself working with, but you're wanting more direct support for your specific situation, I do offer mentorship. It's personalized to you, private video or phone calls with me, so you can chat about your situation and figure out a solution that's going to work for you. You can visit my website. It is kinkybestie.com/mentorships to see what's available and to book in your spot on my calendar. It's kinky with a Y at the end and bestie with an IE at the end. The link will be in the show notes, so you can check it out there. Back to the show.
All right, we're back. We're talking about kinky desires and why it's so important to live them out and take those steps, and why those desires are just for you because they were given to you. So there's twofold to this. So there's the part where you're fulfilling your own desire is important for you as an individual human and improves your life. And then there's the bigger part of this. Well, I don't know if bigger is the right word, but the other part of this is that it's also improving the world for other people around you, and really can have a ripple effect into healing like more people than just yourself. So digging more into that, that reason how it improves your life. So the example that I was giving is that I had this desire to become a kink mentor and to help people online, like outside of just my local community. And again, it seemed a little silly because no one else was really doing this. It would have been very, very easy for me not to do this thing because truthfully, like there were a lot of hard steps and like challenges and things I had to learn to be able to do this. So yeah, it would have been very, very easy for me to like turn my back on that desire that I had and just, choose a different path. But in me choosing this path and deciding that this desire was given to me for a reason is something that is meant for me to take action on in my lifetime. This has had a lot of positive, just honestly has changed a lot for me. In understanding that this is part of what I'm here to do, and that's why this desire was given to me. It's helped my sense of self a lot, and understanding that like this is the greater purpose that I'm here to serve on this planet, and that's why I was given all these desires and put in a situation where I felt a lot of shame around it, and was told a lot that this wasn't gonna be part of my path or wasn't the normal or whatever. So by me embracing that, like, no, this is part of what I'm here to do, it's honestly been an exercise of self-trust and like proving to myself that I believe in my desires. And it's also been like a self-acceptance exercise a little bit, and like accepting that like this is a part of me and a part of like what I feel called to do. So by me taking steps towards doing that thing, that is me accepting myself and loving on myself and deciding that, that's part of who I am and what I'm here to do. So it's built a lot of trust with myself and my desires. And again, like has improved a lot of my self-worth too, by proving to myself that I can have my desires. They're not just something that has to live in the back of my brain that I have to feel shame or, self-doubt about. By me taking those steps, it's proving to myself again and again and again that I am worthy of having those things that I want. And so whatever that is for you, like if your desire is to have a power play dynamic, like you're feeling called to that, by you ignoring that and putting that on the back burner and instead living your, vanilla life that you're taught and are shown in the media and whatever, that is the route and the okay thing to do, you are rejecting that part of yourself that wants something different. And turning your back on yourself and in turning your back on that side, you're teaching yourself that you don't trust your desires, that you're not worthy of having them, and that, you need to instead follow the script of what someone else is telling you to do. Like you trust someone else's judgment and opinion more than your own. So that's, I think, one of the biggest pieces, how this has shifted my own personal life. But let's talk about the ripple effect and like all the people in your life and outside of your life that you following your desires has a positive impact on too. So let's turn into your example mode where, you have this calling towards submission and are interested in being in a power play dynamic, and you've decided, I'm worthy of having this thing just because I want it, and I trust that my desires are, are important and are coming from somewhere, and then that means that they're meant to be acted on. Like I trust myself enough to follow this through. Let's say you get on a kinking dating app from there. Like that's the next action you decide to take. Well, now you're showing like all the people that you're going to meet on that dating app and share with them that this is what you're about and what you desire and what you're interested in taking steps towards. It's going to have an impact on every single person you meet who you show that like, I accept this part of myself and I accept this part of myself so much that, I'm seeking this out and wanting to give it to myself, and also in, rejecting people who are not on that path with you. That's also like teaching that important lesson too in a different way. And also, this is going to impact every person who sees you taking this action too. So not just the people on this dating app, but also, your local community and your friends. And, if you're online, like maybe someone online who's just seeing that you have this desire and you're following that through, and in doing that, you're kind of shifting our collective mindset into like, no, my desires are okay. I can have them because look, so-and-so is doing it right now. So that's just one of like the many ways that this can ripple out into other areas of your life. And I also believe that this is more than just who is living and breathing right now. So like, yes, this is going to impact yourself and your self-image by taking these steps now, and also everyone who you interact with, and show that this is what you're about and what you're doing. This also is healing, like deep healing, generationally. There's so much shame in this world that we're born into for being other, and not just in like our closest generations, like your parents, your grandparents, and the one before that, but think about all the generations that came before that. Whenever being other was actually like your survival was at risk, by you wanting to do something out of the norm. Like, let's say, for example, like the witch trials, folks who believed in some other spirituality than the one that was, the mandated religion at the time, or whatever it was. And a lot of those circumstances weren't even based in spirituality. It was actually just the powers that be deciding that this person poses a threat. And so, I'm going to take action and have them killed for it. Like, this is not just today's world that we're navigating. It's also like the generations and generations before that, that, it all, our body remembers all of that. It's passed down through your genetics, and it's part of, how our brains are trained to function for survival by, appeasing the people that we're around, especially people who are in power and making the rules. So you're healing that not only for yourself, but also think about all the generations that are going to come after you as well. So like, if you do have children someday, or just, raise someone even not biologically, in your day-to-day behaviors and in your mindsets, that is teaching this next generation that's going to come after you. And like, for me, I am child-free. I am medically sterilized. I'm not, I know that reproducing is not for me, but even so, I know that in this work that I'm doing, I am healing a lot of people, and I am touching a lot of lives and showing a lot of people like what it means to live your values, how you can live your values, why it's important, why you should trust your desires and take the steps even when they're scary and do it anyways. And in all of that work and all of that healing happening, think about all the kids that are going to come after that, who are now coming from a genetic line that embraces and loves on and takes action towards fulfilling their desires. It's such a beautiful thing, and I'm actually getting a little bit emotional talking through it all, because I feel this generational wounding, and I can only imagine like what my parents and grandparents and generations before then, like what they were shamed around and what all that they've had to oppress for their survival. So this is really big work that we're doing. It's not just about all the beautiful magical orgasms that you're going to have and things that you're going to experience in the bedroom. Like, you're healing yourself, and you're healing past generations, and in doing all of that, it's going to be so much better. And like, yeah, just a more loving and accepting and embracing and open and curious world that we're creating here together. So your desires are so much more important than you think that they are, and they are not just about you. So I will see you in the next lovely episode, besties. Thank you for joining in on this conversation, for being a person who has lovely desires, who, they might be a little bit taboo, but you have decided that you are taking steps towards fulfilling that for yourself. Anyways, it is not selfish. It is so much more than that. And I love you. I see you. I embrace you. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining me this episode. You can follow the podcast on the platform where you're listening to get updates with new episodes. You can follow me on social media at Kinky Bestie. I'm on Instagram. You can also check the show notes for any links or resources that I talked about in this episode, or just more ways to connect with me. And please share this with your kinky friends who could benefit from this type of content. There is also an option for each podcast episode to engage with Q&As or polls. So I'd love to hear from you and create future episodes around what you want to chime in with. So please check those out in the show notes too. And I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.